Yo, how you girl is? Lady Chann written none less. Yeah, welcome to Boxology with Chann. And I am majorly gassed because we have got Hanna to the Rankin here. Yeah? Hanna to the Rankin, that's your new name. Hanna to the Rankin. That's a good Jamaican flavour. Hanna to the Rankin. Yeah, yeah, that's her. Like hailing from Scotland. Is it Glasgow, Hanna? Welcome anyway.
Pardon?
Welcome anyway.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Accolades, please. Accolades. Former WBC. Come on, I need to hear it all. They need to hear it all.
Okay, I'm the former IBO Super Welterweight World Champion and the former WBC 160 Silver Champion as well. So yeah.
Yeah. And hailing from Scotland, Glasgow. Are you on an island actually out of Glasgow? Because I couldn't understand if you was from actually in Glasgow or you like from an island off Scotland.
No, so I'm like an hour north of Glasgow in an area called Loch Lomond. It's really beautiful.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hanna, let me ask you, why the fuck ain't you got a Scottish accent?
Okay, yeah, so everyone asked me this. Basically, my mum was English, and also the school I went to, there was a lot of kids from the naval base, so a lot of them were English as well. But it's funny, like I just don't have a Scottish accent. Only when I'm angry. My coach can hear it when I get angry, you know, but when I go home, nah.
I was like, when I was watching you like doing your press and that, I was like, how is she Scottish? There's no accent at all. I love Scotland, by the way. I've been there loads and performed there a good few times in Glasgow and Edinburgh. It's very picturesque in Edinburgh with the castle and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And Scottish people are always very welcoming, more than fucking London people. People in London are so fucking stuck up. I don't fit to be in London. Everyone says if you was from anywhere else in England, it would be more up north because I'm a bit more friendly. London people, come on, you Londoners, man. Let's just get this going on, man. Just being moody and horrible for no reason. I just don't understand why. But
I agree.
Yeah, isn't it? It's weird. So I was rewatching your fight because I was watching it when it actually happened, and I was quite gassed to see, So you fought Savannah Marshall. It was a tough one for you, wasn't it, Pet? It was, wasn't it? It was. But you're a don. Don't let anybody say nothing else because you're a fucking trooper, mate. Like you went to war and and the thing is, you had the first, in my opinion, like the first couple rounds. I think it started to change at about round 3, 4.
Yeah. So basically I stepped up to middleweight for the fight and because normally I fight super welter.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what, no one's getting to fight this year, and the opportunity came around, and me and my team had a great game plan. And like you said, I was executing that game plan at the beginning of the fight.
Yeah.
End of the third, I burst my eardrum, and
that's what I heard. Yes.
Yeah. So like
when I went out, was fucked.
Yeah, when I went out for the fourth, I was like, thought I was doing everything that I had been doing, but obviously wasn't moving my head as much, and I wasn't doing a distance anymore. Yeah. But I didn't realize what it was. I didn't know that's what was causing it.
It's painful.
But to take nothing away from Savannah, she boxed amazing, and she was just too big for me on the night, and it is what it is, And I was rocking and rolling in the 7th, and my corner were like, take a knee, because they could tell my balance was off, and they were like, take a knee. And I was in my head, I was like, I'm not fucking taking a knee. But I did, and the ref waved it off, and that's that. But for me, it was, I gave it my best, and there's nothing else I could do.
Yeah, was it painful, the first eardrum?
Yeah, it was actually. When all the adrenaline came down and stuff like that, I went to get it checked out at the hospital, and had to get my ear kind of drained out. It was all like kind of a hematoma.
Yeah, and all the blood.
Get the blood drained out and cut open. So yeah, it was a busy night for me.
You lot are big girls though, man. Because I'm only like just about coming in the 9 stone bracket. So if I was fighting, I would be, what would I be? Super Bantam or something like that.
Yeah, like you're one of the little weights that I don't know anything about.
I know. The one that nobody cares about, isn't it? I know. Tiny, how tiny I am. So when I see you guys, you girls are in the 11 stone bracket, I'm like, yeah, this. But what I seem to find that, you know, there's not that many fights for you guys at that. I don't think there's that many fights for females in middleweight category.
No, there's not. And obviously, like that's her first time fighting at middleweight. So
she went from light heavy and came down, right?
Yeah, no, and she just made the weight on the day. Like, and her props to her nutrition team and everything, because like she looked like, you know, like she filled out really well after the fight as well. So when we stepped in the ring, I was like, you filled out. You're a lot heavier than you were.
Yeah. She's a big girl. She's a brilliant boxer, but don't take anything away from yourself though, because man, you're a great boxer, man, and like, you know, you're flying the flagship for females. So I just want to know, like, where do you go next then? Like, what's your next move?
So in the new year, me and my team were going down to welterweight. I've obviously my world title was at super welter, and we've always wanted to go down to welterweight, and there seems to be some more opportunities open up there, and it'd be great for me to have the height and the reach advantage for a change. You know, it's about time that I got the advantages, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited. So yeah, we'll hit welterweight in the new year. Hopefully around about March time, I'll get out. And yeah, I'm just really excited about it.
Yeah, so you'll be going down to like 147.
Yeah, 147.
Yeah. Are you comfortable at that weight?
So this will be the first time I've made 147, but I've been as low as like 151, 152. So yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah. So there's more fight. Yeah, because I'm like only just getting into women's boxing, because like I don't like to say like women's boxing, because that's like, I'm a grime MC and dancer MC, and I hate when people say like female MC. Like I'm an MC, innit? So I don't really want to just say like women's boxing and like just put you in like this, but you know what I mean? It's like I haven't been that well versed, because it has, thanks to Eddie Hearn. What do you think about Eddie like bringing all these all-female cards and stuff like that? Don't you think it's fucking amazing?
Well, this year has been like, I think we're really lucky with women. I'm going to say women's boxing. For us, it's been like a whole year for us to like, we've really excelled. We're probably the only female sport that's going to come out of the like lockdown situation actually having grown and having more of a foothold in what we're trying to do. Eddie and Matchroom have done an amazing job this year. They just took the plunge, and it was the right thing to do, you know, like, and it's an opportunity for people, like a captive audience for a change, to watch women's boxing. So yeah, no, I think it was really fantastic, and there's been some amazing female fights this whole year.
There has, man. There has. Well, how was it in the bubble though? Take us through like the procedure. The bubble with you lot.
The worst part is getting the COVID test. Honestly, no joke.
I've had two.
I've had two now, and it's just the same. It's as gross every time.
Awful.
It's not okay. Your brain. Yeah, it's not okay that something goes down the back of your throat and then it's put up your nose. That's not okay.
Yeah, you see the ones that you lot have, it's nasty because they do your nose and throat with the same Q-tip.
Yeah.
Now, and when I went into hospital, I had to have it because I had to go to hospital 2 times. No, mine was literally Q-tip just pushed at the top of my brain. Like, and that was it. No, I couldn't do like, you can't do snot from my nose and then back of my throat. You've actually given me some infection now, I'm sure. Like, how did that work?
It was so gross. Like, that was the worst part. In the bubble, obviously, like, the next bit is like, you've got to wait it out to wait for the test. And actually, the first time in Peterborough, when our first fight got cancelled.
Yeah, cancelled,
I was proper on edge about it because obviously I was waiting to find out. And then the second time, I was actually a little bit more cool about it. I was calm. The time went a lot quicker. Yeah. But the first time I was like, you know, panic. But yeah, no, it was fine.
Yeah. So so after the COVID test, you go in your room, then you wait for the results, security knock and say, yeah, you're all good. And then what's the general vibe? What do you do? Like, do you mingle with everybody? And that's the weird thing, because you mingle with your opponent.
Yeah, so basically, as soon as I was free to go, like, obviously the first time, I FaceTimed my coach like 3 times from my room. I was like, can we leave yet? Can we please leave? Anytime we can leave? And he was just like, stop FaceTiming me. I'm napping. But yeah, so we left, and then as soon as I get out, I went for a shakeout. You know, so they've got like a gym area set up. They've got a ring and everything you could possibly need. It's really well set up. So I like to go and get a run done, shake it out, check my weight, do that sort of stuff, and then. Yeah, you are all in the same place, but I think it kind of adds to the vibe because you've got each team sitting at tables like in the same room for breakfast, for lunch, and all that sort of stuff. And so like it's like kind of a bit electric, you know. Everybody's kind of like waiting, but yeah, it's quite cool.
Yeah, I think it's wild. And I was gonna, what was the thing I was gonna say about that bubble situation? It just came out of flown right out of my head. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So nutrition. So how do you keep the nutrition like within that bubble? Like, are you allowed your own kitchen area, access to the kitchen, or like, because are you eating just crappy hotel food, or what is it?
No, so basically Matchroom have an amazing setup there. Like the hotel provides food. There's 3 meals a day. Everything's provided there for you. But obviously I've been on a very strict diet the whole way through camp.
Sorry, you froze there. So could you just go again on that?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so basically, Matchroom provide the 3 meals a day. It's all there if you need it. But obviously, you've been on a strict diet, so I don't change my diet at all in fight week. It just stays exactly the same. So we were told you can bring a microwave and a fridge with you. So I just set up my room with a mini fridge and a microwave, and then I could cook all my food in my room.
Yeah.
And then I just took it out. We ate it in the kind of communal space with my team. They all ate there, you know, the normal food. The thing is, it's like you don't want to run the risk of the food is healthy, but it might have salt on it, and salt can really affect the water retention when you're making weight, all of that sort of stuff. And people don't think about it, but it's
it's all technical. So how many was in your team in the bubble? What does your team consist of? Like,
there's my coach Noel Callan. And then there's my cut man, Richard Farnan. They've been with me all the way from the beginning, very first fight till now. They're with me all the time. And then also Gary Jacobs, who's a famous Scottish boxer, and I know him from home, and he's kind of almost like family to me. So whenever I'm at home, I train with him, and he came down, and he fought some amazing people like Pernell Whitaker, Buddy McGirt. So fantastic boxer, great addition to the team. So
with the cut man and that, like, see, because your nose got a bit bloodied, didn't it? So I hate seeing that. I'm like, because I know it's horrible. Like, you can't even breathe through it. Everything's just. How does the cut man deal with that to try and suppress, you know, the blood flow or the swelling?
So basically, Rich knows my face like probably the back of his hand, to be perfectly honest. He's been there, done it with all of the bruises, everything, you know. So he knows. But like, obviously, when your nose starts to bleed, I think they put this like little sticks up your nose. And it's usually, I think it's got like adrenaline in it, so it basically stops the blood. So like if you had a cut, the same thing goes on there, and that helps stem the blood flow.
Really?
So it's like it's adrenaline basically, and it's authorized by the board.
Oh, So what do you think? All right, we're gonna go. Let's talk about Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce. What did you make any predictions on it? Now that I've got you, I'm going to be getting predictions off you here and there for other fights now, Hannah. Like, you can't escape me now. You can't escape me. It'd be good to get predictions off you because I get loads of predictions of different people in boxing, and it'd be good. I don't have any females ever.
Cool.
So it'd be great. What did you predict, or if you did predict, and what did you think of the outcome?
So Eat, Sleep, Boxing, Repeat actually asked me to do a video prediction, and pretty much exactly what I predicted happened. I predicted that should Joyce get through the first 3 or 4 rounds, he'd start to come on stronger in the later rounds, and it would be a stoppage in the later rounds. By Joe Joyce.
Yeah, I say the same thing.
And that's kind of what happened, and I think it was. I felt for Daniel because obviously he's received a lot of backlash from the rest of the boxing world.
Yeah, this is what I was going to ask you. What do you think about that? Is it fair or is it not fair? I don't think it's fucking fair, to be fair. Look, I don't think it's fucking fair, to be fair.
Well, the thing is like, Joe had a lot of negative press in the lead up to it. Like he was the underdog in the bookies. And everyone was like, "Oh, Daniel's gonna do it," you know. But
Golden
it
boy.
kind of negated the fact that Joe has a fantastic amateur background, and I've met him. He's got an absolute engine for days. He just
days, mate.
Unbelievable for a heavyweight.
Medalist in the Olympics, should have been really gold. Commonwealth bronze. Yeah, he's come from an amazing pedigree. But go on, yeah.
So I feel like
with the backlash.
Yeah, the backlash. So basically, the thing is, like, if Daniel had taken the knee and then made it up by the end of the count, then it would have been the referee's decision whether or not he continued, or his corner's decision. But the fact that he made the decision himself is probably what the backlash is about, is that everyone thinks that he basically quit. And there's been a lot of fights in the past where people have gone through horrific injuries to go on and win. And the ironic thing was he was up on all the scorecards, well, on 2 of the scorecards out of 3. Yeah,
I had it even, but kind of more leaning towards Dubois just by 1 round up by the time it was getting up there. But
I could just see Joyce.
Draw, at that point.
I could just see Joyce like starting to go through it, you know.
Starting to build the momentum. So, but because he took the knee, you took the knee. So
I was told to take the knee though.
So does that make you a quitter?
No, see, I was told to, like, I wasn't about to take a knee. My corner was shouting at me to take a knee.
Yeah.
So therefore, I did what I was told by my corner.
Yeah.
Daniel took the choice himself.
Yeah.
And he would look better for it if he'd stood up and then somebody else had made the decision for him that he couldn't continue. But the problem is that I stood up before the end of the count and I was going to go again.
Yeah,
like, regardless of anything.
Yeah, and then the rest just waved it off. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't me that made the decision. I was giving up. I didn't quit.
Yeah.
I think that's why Daniel's getting a lot of backlash from the boxing community. And it's a shame because obviously we know now he's got a broken eye socket.
And nerve damage.
So then maybe the corner should have taken him out to save him from that situation.
The corner was rubbish. The stuff that they was going like, mate, it's the fight game night. Like, come on. They gave him just the most ill advice going. It was just like, you could see he was out of his depth. And they had gassed him up to be this golden boy. That's what it is. They wanted an AJ they thought they was getting an AJ. They thought they was grooming an AJ. And they moved him up the ranks way too quick. Like he's like he's in like the league that he really should be fighting in. It's not Joe Joyce. Like he went from A and they put him straight to like D, or D straight to A. Like it should have been a gradual.
I think as well that the problem is that he's gone 15-0 and not had an opponent kind of, I would have said, close to Joyce.
Yeah, of caliber. Yeah.
Because if he had someone kind of like, had someone that had tested him and he maybe got a cut or something had happened, then he would have had to work through it.
Yeah.
And then when that was happening with Joe, he would like, okay, I've got 2 rounds. I'm going to work myself around this. Good.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an experience he'd never had before.
Yeah. Like, he was used to just banging people over in the first 2 rounds, usually. Yeah.
Well, by the 3rd round, he was starting to panic a little bit in the corner. And he had, and even I think his corner said, "Oh, this is professional fight. Welcome to the fight game.
Welcome to the fight game, lads. Like, come on." Yeah. I just thought it was mean.
I felt a little bit for him, but it's like, at the end of the day, he's had 15 fights now, and they've put him in that position. So either he was ready and he wasn't, and I could just see that Joe was going to come on strong for the last few rounds.
Can't fuck about with Joe, mate. He's the guy. He's the guy. He's in the top 15 of heavyweights. Some could argue even at a higher position, but he's definitely, unarguably, in the top 15 of heavyweights now. It'd just be interesting to see. Boxing gets on my nerves like this, though. Do you know what? Because you know what? Everybody kind of ragged on Joe Joyce. Yeah, I do analytics, so like I'm fair. He is a bit of a slow puncher. He is slow. He is sloppy.
He's got a different style, hasn't he?
It's wild to look at, but he's got great chin. His engine, like you said, for days. but people were really critical of him. Like, he was like, the bookies like were really just saying like he's going to lose. And the minute he won, everyone was like, yeah, Joe Joyce, yeah, he's the top man. And I'm like, you lot are so fucking fake and frauds. Like, you was ragging on him before he won this. Like, this is now that he's, but that's the boxing game, innit? Like, that's even like the music game. You do something sick and everyone's like, yeah, you're the best. Like, it's just like,
But and that's the thing that I think people really need to think. You know, obviously, if you think he quit or he didn't quit, Dubois is the person that's got to deal with this situation, and he needs his family, his friends around him, because mentally, that's really hard for him.
Yeah,
and, like, boxing's a hard enough game as it is, and he's got to be like, okay, am I good enough to go? Like, am I going to be good to go again?
Yeah,
am I going to feel strong enough in the ring?
Yeah,
you know, he's got a lot to deal with, and he's quite young. Whereas if Joe Joyce had done that, and he's 35, and he decided, you know what, I've had enough, people wouldn't be so much on his case because they just assume he was going to retire or whatever.
Old, whatever.
But because Dubois is so young, they're like, oh, you should, you know. But he, like, in my opinion, if he stood up, then it was out of his hands and somebody else makes the decision, you know, or he gets stopped on the ropes, something like that, blocking. It probably wouldn't have been a better finish for him, you know. But hey, it's not.
Yeah. In my opinion, I think what he did wasn't bad. Because I know what you're saying, that the team should call. The team didn't call it, mate. So he had to make that decision. His eye, he's got a broken orbital bone. His eye is swollen shut. I heard the nerve pain that he was experiencing. I mean, if your team's not going to call it, your team's not going to call it. Sorry, you're not here with all of this. I don't want to be potentially blind. I don't really want to go through. He's already going to go through the same scenario of what now Kell Brook has gone through, and he's only fucking 23, and that is what you get when you fucking, like, Frank Warren. I think Frank Warren should be pounding on a lot of love and some major support with Joyce. I mean, with Dubois, because, you know, you've propelled him into this. I'm not saying that he didn't want to take this fight, but I mean, the poor lad's 23 and he's already going to deal with this Achilles heel now. Because you're going to probably have to you may have to have a metal plate it takes a year, Eddie Hearn said, to actually heal from this. And it's not fair. Like, do you know what I mean? Your corner didn't call it and everyone's backlashing him. It'd be nice to see Frank Warren stand up for him a bit.
Yeah, I feel that for him. And obviously it is boxing, it is fighting at the end of the day.
Yeah, I know. I'm all lovey-dovey, like, oh, I'm a mum, that's why.
Yeah, I know. But I can see it from where the boxing fans are coming from. I can see it from where boxers are coming from.
Yeah.
Boxing, you don't play boxing. Boxing's hard.
You don't play it.
You go in there with the understanding that you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And I think I can see why they all said that. I think now that they've said their bit, people should be supportive of him. And because mentally it's very hard. You know, it's going to be very hard for him. So that's what I'm going to ask you.
So when there's a loss that happens, is there an element of embarrassment? Do you feel embarrassed? Like, when you lost, I'm not saying, by the way, that you should feel embarrassed, because I love you and you're a don. Remember, I said you're a don.
Yeah.
Did you feel an element of embarrassment?
I did feel an element of embarrassment in that I couldn't complete the game plan that I had in place, you know, and that I couldn't complete the 10 rounds because I've never, like I said, I've never been forced to take a knee before or anything like that. And so I was frustrated with my corner.
Yeah.
I was annoyed with them because they said I should take a knee and then the ref stopped it.
Yeah.
But then, like, as they were looking at it, they could see stuff that I couldn't see. And like I said with Dubois, your corners should be there to save you from situations. That's their job.
Yeah, so, that is their job. If you got a good
I thought that I was a bit frustrated about that aspect. So I was embarrassed that I couldn't showcase the best of what I could do. But then afterwards, when I found out about my ear and everything started to come in, so then I kind of understood why these things happen. It's still embarrassing because I know I'm better than some of the things that, like, some of my movement and stuff that change, but obviously it's an injury, you can't do anything about it. It's still embarrassing.
You're not, you were sick, man. You were sick. Like, you was a trooper. I watched it and I was like, this girl is a trooper. And you know what gets on my nerves a bit? I'm just gonna see me. I just call it how it is. Like this, I'm not the conventional journalist. Like, do you know what I mean? I just say it how it is. I think sometimes I'm from the UK, yeah, but there's so much fucking biased. Like when I was listening to the commentary, and I was just watching the fight again earlier. And I made this observation when I was watching it the first time. It's like, you know, it's like England v Scotland, like, oh, like, I'm not taking anything away from Marshall, but it was a bit gassed up. Oh, pedigree, and you know, Hannah's had it hard. You know, she's got what do they call it? White collar, and you know, and this and that. And I'm like, mate, we don't need no violins. She's all right around here. Stop gassing up. Oh, I've only given Hannah 1 round. I gave you the first 2, like straight.
I think the zone had me for the first 3, so
3. I could even give you the first 3 exactly. Like I just think like sometimes it's just this undertone of, you know, England v Scottish, and like, oh, she's the best because she's British and we're British. Now, mate, call it how it fucking well is. She had the first 3 rounds. Don't lie.
So I think the thing with boxing in the UK is that it sometimes, a lot of the time, I'll watch fights with the commentary off, just because they can like really like say stuff that, and you're watching that, you're like, I can't even see that. What's that?
Yeah.
You know?
What are you watching? We're not watching. Clearly, we're not watching the same fight. We're not, are we? Yeah.
No.
Did you sense that there was more favoritism?
Well, actually,
remember, we're not taking anything away from Savannah Marshall. We're not. Away, but did you sense an undertone of favoritism? Because I did, and I went.
Of course, there will definitely be an undertone of favoritism. There was, because obviously she's the matchroom fighter. She was the one that was kind of sponsored by Sky, I think, when she was younger.
Yeah,
that's sort of, I don't know what you call it, when she was on the Olympic team. They kind of nurtured her.
Team GB.
Which I fully went into it expecting that, but I also feel that there was a very fair build-up for the fight, you know, because like we had equal amounts of filming and interviews, and so I think it was a very fair build-up, and people were excited about it. I think because it was a real sort of exciting fight that people wanted to see, like they were definitely kind of building up equally for both of us.
Yeah.
On the night, they're going to favor their goal. That's just how it works. You know, I'm not a matchroom fighter, so it's just, you know.
So what though? So what if you're not a matchroom fighter? So what? Don't lie and talk about you only gave her 1 round. What are you watching, mate? You're a liar. That really annoyed me. It really irked me when I heard that. Yeah, I'm sometimes gonna have to turn off the commentators, because they can really sway people's perception of things unfairly in certain ways. You've got to be like super unbiased when you're doing commentary. That's how I believe. Do you know what I mean? We've got people there. It'd be fun to go. What do you mean? Be fun to go couple rounds with Mars? Who with? With Hannah? You want to go couple rounds with Hannah? Hannah will knock you out. What weight category are you coming in? What weight I can't imagine even them being in the top. In the top, I don't understand. Yes, they should have around 4 or 5. You need to make yourself clear, because I don't understand what. So Mars, yes, they should have. Oh, I think he might be talking about the Dubois. They should have. They should have. Yeah, there he is. He's laughing. Yeah, I think he's talking about maybe they should have like stopped it around round 4 or 5. All right, cool. Thanks, Mars. Keep coming with any comments. Anybody wants to come with comments. Like, now, what do you think about this Mike Tyson's fucking shit? I'm sure you've seen all over my page all this shit. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. What do you think about these legends coming back in? How do you look at that fight?
So basically, I watched it. I watched it the next day. I didn't stay up to watch it. I watched it the next day.
I stayed up.
I've always, like, both those fighters, like Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson, are up there as some of my most favorite fighters ever, right? And what I will say is I was so impressed with how much Mike Tyson still had all the moves, the head movement, the footwork. I was like, I was just like, you know, you're 54 and you're still doing what you did when you were 20. Like, it's impressive. But like, it was impressive movements that, like, obviously that's never left his body. It's like muscle memory. He's never gonna lose that, you know. Yeah. But I don't know if they should be coming back to fight these days because, you know, but it could have been a lot worse, is what I'm saying. It could have been a lot worse.
It was rubbish. It was rubbish. It was body sparring. It was rubbish. They amped it up. I was all enthralled with all the press. I thought because the WBC was involved, they changed a lot of the rules. Okay, we are now allowing knockouts. We're all right, but we're going to do 8-2. So they got 8-2.
It was meant to be exhibition, wasn't it? I think it was meant to be kind of exhibition.
Yeah, I know, but listen, this is the cop-out thing that I'm getting annoyed with all of this exhibition. It wasn't an exhibition. It was exhibition, but it weren't exhibition because if it was exhibition, there wouldn't be belts on the line, by the way.
I don't agree with the belts. Like, I think that's
not a belt.
But, you know, like, I think it's meant to be exhibition. I don't want to pay for an exhibition. That's why I didn't want to pay for that. So, even though they're my heroes, but they're my heroes when they were in their prime. Like, you know, and I respect them. And it was great that they got themselves into such good shape.
Yes, but there's a difference between good shape and fight shape.
Yeah, like you don't normally pay for an exhibition.
No,
and I don't really want to watch an exhibition on the main show.
The main thing, and then there's belts involved, but you're allowed to smoke weed because we really can't stop you from smoking weed, Mike. What? So the lines are mad blurred. Is it like if it's going to be an exhibition, just make it be an exhibition. If it's just going to be like a fight, just make it a fight. All of this like sitting on the fence shit is like, it just wasn't for me. It just annoyed me because they ramped it up like it was going to be sick. Like, do you know what I mean? And it was just, it was just an anti-climax for me.
The power of advertising.
Yeah, man. And when I saw Mike hitting those pads, and I actually included it in my commentary, I realized it was actually some bits were sped up to make it look like really outstanding. Yeah, it was sped up. Oh. Yeah, there was bits that were sped up. I've got it. If you after this look on, I'll send you the link to the commentary that I did, and I've actually put that snippet in it, and I've like, oh shit, you can see the sped up on to make it look extra impressive. So I think we was a bit bamboozled and tricked. So now he's talking about to do exhibition fights and stuff with AJ and Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Like, calm it down. Like, come on, what do you think about that? Mike Tyson still going to fight people in our lads in their prime.
I can't imagine that. And also, like, especially you don't have a professional fighter who's fully who's currently active who does an exhibition fight unless it's like a charity fight at his home club or something.
He said he'd make it for charity though. But
but
AJ wants to be responsible of like maybe punching Mike and Mike keeling over. Like, because it's a possibility.
Yeah, I don't think that should happen. If they want to fight each other at that age, then they can fight each other at that age. But I don't think it should be with younger people.
Yeah, that's why I don't know. I think it was the adrenaline talking. Mike's gassed, mate. Mike, I love you, but you're gassed, yeah? Jones Jr. ain't called out anybody. They said they want to do it again.
Right.
I don't want you lot to rematch, please. I
feel like Mike wanted to do it again. I don't feel like Roy Jones was 100% convincing that he wanted to do it again.
he was knackered.
Yeah.
He was knackered from round one.
Yeah.
Round one, knackered. They were body sparring. He just did clench. It was clench fest. It was just like, yeah, it was wild. That disgust. And then Lennox Lewis is saying that he wants to come out and fight Riddick, overweight, Bo.
I mean, like, these guys are my heroes from the past. I don't really want to watch them now. Like, I want to watch them when they're younger, like when they were amazing. I've got so much respect for everything they achieved. But now,
don't taint it. Don't taint your legacy. Yeah. Like, let's go out in a blaze of glory, and we love you and we respect you. I don't want to see you lot coming out like 3 sheets to the wind, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. Some people were saying, oh, Chann, you're being too harsh on the oldies and all of that. I'm like, it's called tough love.
One thing I can understand is that obviously that desire that they have to fight is never left them.
You would have it, yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that, and I can like when Mike was fighting, you could see he was hyped. He enjoyed it, and it's in his blood, like it's in his DNA. Like he's just a fighter, and obviously it was nice for him to get that out again and do the ring walk, do everything that you that's your old life that you relive it. But then
was old. Old.
Yeah, and I can understand the harsh reality of not being able to do what you have done when you retire again. Most people can't do that again, you know. So not sure it should be encouraged.
Like I said, you could open an academy. You could do stuff within the realms of boxing all day long. I'm not saying like just drop right out of like boxing, but like, mate, you got to be realistic in life. You have to be. You just got to be. Like. Well, then talking about retirement, like what I'm seeing in women's boxing is like I'm quite you wouldn't guess I'm quite vocal. Like when I saw Katie Taylor, what was that, Guerrera? Yeah.
No. So I really felt that fight should have been stopped about round 4.
I'll give her the props that she went through, but
but then this is the thing that I have an issue with, right? Is that like everyone, so they should have been stopped around round 4. There was 2 opportunities for the referee to step in and stop it, and but instead it got to the point where he was like, oh well, I'll just let her get to the end because that's kind of how you want to see her go out. I'm like, that's not how it should be. She just took unnecessary punishment until the end because then everyone could say she's a champion. She did the full distance. I just don't think that was necessary, and she was so far out of her league with Katie. It just
15-0. Who have you been fighting? Like, while you're undefeated, like 15-0. I expected with those stats that she was going to be amazing. But
to be fair, I do feel that Katie is unnatural. Like she's definitely someone up there who really needs someone that for like a real dance partner. Because like also the fact that Gutierrez was the mandatory, I was surprised by that. Then, you know, she's just had 2 really hard fights with Pursoon back to back. So maybe the option was to give Katie an easier fight, but then they should have stepped in and stopped it.
Yeah.
When she got knocked over or whatever. Like,
what was your take on that? Because for me on Pursoon, the first fight, I feel like
Pursoon won the first one.
Yeah.
And Katie won the second.
I still feel that. I feel like Katie won the second one, but not by miles.
No, but she won it, and that's all that matters. And also, I feel for her, like, you know, if you look at the first one, the mess of her face from the first one, and then you look at the second one, it swaps.
Her
face is a total mess.
Wreck, and Katie's unscathed.
Yeah, and boxing's about, they always say, hit and not get hit.
Not get hit,
They adapted the game plan, and she deserved the win the second time. Pursoon deserved the win the first time.
Yeah. And what I was going to say, we're going to get to these questions. Hi, we will get. There's a couple will come in, or let's just have a look what you just said. Hello, ladies. I reckon if you're not old enough to have seen Tyson or Jones in their prime, it would be a worthwhile watch. But I didn't bother watching until no. I'm old enough to. I grew up watching Mike Tyson.
No, I think he means you know, like the casual viewer.
The casual viewer. Yeah, you have to go back and watch it so you get a clear reference of what was. Yeah. What I was going to say with thanks for that. What I was going to say with also what I find with the women boxing is that there isn't that many of caliber for real. So, you know, you've got the Gutierrez that are like, she's 37 years old. I get to the point where I think, I don't know, this sounds a bit mad, but I don't think a 37-year-old woman should still be boxing. I just about think a 37-year-old man is a bit different. And I'm not sexist. I'm not a feminist. I'm not anti this. I'm not anti that. It is just what it is. A man can still, his engine's a bit different. It can still tick over at 37, 38. But granted, you are going towards the end of your career. But to see 37-year-old women box, I think it's your body's just not. Your body's just not on it.
I think it really does depend on the woman. Like, obviously, for me, I'm literally I'm hitting my prime at 30. Like, my body feels great. I'm in a
But
perfect
you're still young a bit.
yeah, like I feel really good. But when you hit your 30s, like they say that, you know, making like for women, weight and training and stuff, you kind of come into that sort of like, it's like a great zone for you to be in your 30s.
Yeah.
Granted, later on in your 30s, closer to 40, then you're pushing it a bit. But it does depend on how you, like, I think it just depends on how you kind of
condition your body and stuff.
Yeah, and how you've looked after your body.
Yeah.
Like, for me, when I started boxing professionally, like I haven't drunk for like 4 or 5 years now.
Really?
So,
and you're starting.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone at home's like, "Are you from here?" Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it does depend on how your body is, how many wars you've been in, like how hard you've had to push. If you've had a kid as well, that's also takes a toll on your body. Like,
yeah, some of them girls are. It's Gutierrez got kids.
I don't know, but what I do know about Gutierrez, I heard a bit on like social media later on, is that actually she's a survivor of domestic abuse. I think she's so like for her
box.
Yeah, so
probably box, mate. Yeah,
exactly. I think that's why she went into it, to help herself. But and you know, so she's come through a difficult path to get to where she is.
Yeah,
I'm never of the opinion that people should be told when they can't do something from.
No, yeah, for you whenever you don't want to do.
You should know.
Yeah,
you should know as a person, and your team. Again, it's your team. Like that. My coach always said to me, "Tell me no if he thought I was, you know, too old, wasn't going to be able to do it again." You know, he'd tell me. And that's what they're there for.
Yeah, you can't have a team of yes men. You got to have people telling you the truth. So, like with Gutierrez, like really realistically, 37 got beaten like that. Do you think it's time to hang up the gloves in that type of respect?
I think obviously she's got like one of the greatest female fighters at the top of her like weight class. So she's never going to win a world title against someone like Katie. But then, you know, she might win a European title maybe. But it just depends. It depends who the people are coming. But now we've got all these young girls coming up, you know, who have like maybe been at the Olympics or like coming through. Like the level is just raising. So I feel like it's a difficult time for her to be trying to obtain a title. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. What? So with regards to like Katie Taylor, like so she's a middleweight, right?
Katie Taylor, lightweight.
Katie Taylor's lightweight.
Yeah, like I boxed at middle.
Wow, she's bigger than Katie Taylor's lightweight. So so she's what, 135?
Yeah.
Really?
Or 130? Is that 130?
No, she can't be 130. She's bigger than 130. No, let me Google. Katie Taylor can't be 130 or 135.
Lightweight. I just don't know what it is in pounds.
Because lightweight's 135. Feather is 130.
Yeah, she's lightweight, right? So she's lightweight, and she's the undisputed lightweight world champion.
Yeah,
she's gone up to super light as well.
I thought she was heavier than that.
No. She's so middleweight's like Clarissa Shields, Savannah,
and yourself.
I'm super welter, really.
Really. Yeah. Wow. So that means there'd be no option of you fighting her because she's not.
No. The running joke is always that like I always say, oh yeah, Katie, she's like my left leg.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny. Wow, I didn't realize she was that small. I honestly, my due diligence, I just assumed honestly that she was like a middleweight. But so what do you with the Clarissa Shields? Like, all right, well, you won't be fighting Katie. Cool.
No.
Cool. With the Clarissa Shields, did you see the breaking news that she signed an MMA deal
with PFL? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about that? And what is your interaction with Clarissa Shields?
So me and Clarissa are really good friends. I'll say that now. So we're in touch, you know, chatting on WhatsApp and everything. Yeah. So we see each other.
Yeah.
We chat to each other all the time. Normally I see her a lot more. I was happy to get to America.
Yeah.
She's just signed with PFL for the MMA contract.
Yeah.
I think it's great. You know, she's a fantastic athlete overall. Like she's a really good athlete in most things that she does. And if she thinks that she can you know, go into the MMA world as well as the boxing world, why not? You know, do what you want. I flirted with the idea as well. So it's like
You could be good at it, wouldn't you? Because you probably get. I think that women are mainly forced to go over in that direction. I feel that
the money's good.
Forced because there's not that much work within the women's boxing at the moment.
Also, the money is good for female fighters in UFC and MMA in general. It's sort of more equal, like with the guys.
Yeah, then with boxing, how it is with boxing. Yeah, annoying.
Yeah, so I can see that, but she's obviously gone with PFL because they have a 155 division.
Yeah.
So, because because like for UFC, for example, the highest they go is 145. Same for Bellator, 145.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What do you think about MMA, by the way? So you're teaching me. Okay, so where she's going, there's a 155 cap. Yeah, and that's where she'll slot in. Well, good luck, man.
Judo Kyler. I think it's Judo Kyler. She's the champion at 155, I think.
We'll no doubt we'll be seeing Shields getting up in the ranks and fighting her.
Well, I think people are automatically going, oh, she's got no ground game, she's never done any kicking. But I'm like, get past her hands for striking. Like,
yes, exactly.
She's so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a boxer, mate. Like, get past the hands. She'll learn the kicks, all right?
And the thing is with her,
the other end of it.
The thing is with her is that she's super, she's so dedicated. If she decides she's going to do something, she does it. And so she'll be training like mad. She'll just put it as part of her training schedule, like a normal athlete, and then she'll start doing jiu-jitsu. She'll do the Thai stuff. She'll be doing kicking, striking, everything. So
who's pinging you? People.
It's very annoying.
It's WhatsApp. It's the WhatsApp ping. Well, so what I was going to say is, like, where would you see the end of your career realistically? Would you decide to say, I'm bowing out at about what age? Or you wouldn't know?
So I have a really strong belief on this. If you're already planning when you're going to retire as a professional athlete,
that means you're not supposed to be boxing.
You're doing it wrong. Like, you're absolutely doing it wrong.
Yeah.
For me, I've not put a date on when I'm going to retire from boxing. When my body will know, my coach will know. These things will come. I'm not going to put a date on it because then subconsciously, whether you want to or not, it's in your mind. Oh yeah, I was planning on sort of bowing out at this time. It's not good, especially if you want going in for a fight. Your mentality should always be 100% on the job of winning.
True. All right. So war standard. Miss Rankin, do you have a plan for life after boxing? After boxing, did you study or learn a trade before boxing? Well, she's an accomplished musician. What?
Yeah, so I'm a classical musician. I play the bassoon. I currently teach music to kids. I teach flute, clarinet, bassoon.
I used to play the flute, grade 1, and the piano.
So for me, music's my first love. It's the thing that I obviously started off with, and the great thing about music is that you can it doesn't have a retirement age. You can do it for a long, long time. So I'll probably definitely be doing some more music when I retire for boxing. But actually, what I really want to do is get into commentary. I want to get into boxing commentary.
Come over. Let's do it.
I would love to.
You can start doing guest commentary now. You can do it.
I'd love to do it. Absolutely love that sort of stuff. I did it for Box Nation for the Christina Hamer, Carissa Shields fight. So I did the commentary with that with Bunce, and it was great, and I really enjoy it because I'm a bit of a geek about the sport. So I did all my research on all the fighters on the card.
You're watching everything, reviewing everything, getting the analytics correct. That's what I do. I'm a Virgo. What star sign are you?
So I'm born between Cancer and Leo, on the cusp. Cancer and Leo.
I get on with Cancers a lot though. A lot of my mates are Cancers and all of that. So we get on quite well. Leos, we get on with Virgo. Virgos get on with Leos as well. So you're a decent star sign. Let's see. You're a decent star sign, girl. What did you think when I hit you up? You thought, who is this mad gal with blonde and black hair? Did you, when I hit you up, you said, when I hit you up, you must have been baffled. Like, who is this? Who is this woman? But you're always graceful. Like what they were saying about you, they were saying some nice things about you, that you was a pleasure to have in the bubble and a nice personality. And that I could definitely identify with 1,000,000%. Like, you have got a really banging personality. Fair play to you. Like, no, it has. What do you think of Ty and Booth? Do you ever watch him?
No, I haven't. That's a curveball. Woo! No, I can't say I've got much of an opinion. No.
No opinion?
No, not much of an opinion, no. Why?
Because I think it's hilarious, and I spoke to him about an interview. He's down for it, but then he just disappears. But his channel just gets shut down, as you can imagine, like religiously. But I find him hilarious. I actually do find him hilarious, but he does have some no-go areas that he just treads in quite easily. He just doesn't really give a fucking shit. I don't know. That's just I enjoy him, to be honest. What was else I was going to ask you? Okay, so what I was going to ask you, where are you going with Anthony Yard? And this is my camp. There's a lioness in the camp. So Anthony Yard and Arthur. Do you want to do any predictions on that? May as well, girl. If you feel that you can predict on it, do so. If you don't feel like you can, don't.
So I'm gonna go because I'm actually really excited about this fight. Yeah. I think it's gonna be really good. But I'm gonna go with Arthur winning the early rounds and Anthony being behind at midway. But then in the coming towards the end of the fight, I think Yard's gonna get the knockout. He's gonna catch up with him.
Right, we can stay friends.
Yeah. But no, that's genuinely how I see it.
No, I know. Yeah, because Arthur is technically a good boxer. So technically he's but Anthony is a fucking power puncher. And you get caught with one of those, you're out. So
and also, if you're doing all the work, like you've got to do all the staying out the way all the time, it's very tiring. You've got a lot of work to do. And people get caught up with eventually at some point, and it's how you come out of that moment. So I do see him being ahead at half time, like halfway.
Yeah, and where do you see what was the other fight that I wanted to ask you about? Oh, but it's a fight that's already gone, obviously, like the Chisora and the Usyk.
Oh, well,
I knew that was gonna. I changed my fucking prediction because of David Haye. He sold me sand. He could sell sand to someone that was from the desert. I bought every grain. Every fucking grain I bought. I was like, no, Usyk. I was like, Usyk's got this. David Haye comes on with all this press talk, you know. I was like, they're saying it's a new Chisora. I know what Chisora's about. I know what he does, and I know what he can't do. But all right, Dave, I'm going to go with you. And I changed my prediction, and I knew Usyk would dance around him. I knew it. To
be honest, it was amazing to be on their undercard because, like, in the build-up, they were around all week, and it was so great to have them there. And like, I love Derek Chisora. I think he's an absolute bad man. Like, he's just great, and he just does. Like, the thing is about him is that he's got to a stage in his career where he is doing it because he enjoys it, not for any other reason. He's doing it because he enjoys it, and he was in some shape for that fight. Like, that
was the best shape that I saw him in. Came in at like 18 stone and some change, but he was in great.
Absolutely, but Usyk's just a very, very, very good boxer, and you know you have to work incredibly hard to catch up with someone that has great feet like that. You know, fast hands, all that sort of stuff.
But sorry.
No, carry on.
How far do you see Usyk going in the heavyweight division, coming from being a cruiser? He's still a light guy. How do you feel that he's going to fare with the likes of an Anthony Joshua that is very heavy, but yet has a great ring IQ, adapts with the sweet science as well, can move his hands? Granted, he's not as fast as Usyk, but you know he's faster than Chisora. So how do you think he's going to fare in the heavyweight category? Honestly,
I think he's going to do well. Obviously, when it comes to AJ, I'm a massive AJ fan. He's a great guy.
Even more. We love him.
He's been so good to me. Like every time I used to go to Team GB for training, and stuff like that. He used to like always check up on how I'm doing, ask how's everything going. He's just as sound as he comes across on interviews. So in real life, he's a great guy. I think he beats Usyk because he's the bigger guy, the bigger puncher, and he'll catch up with Usyk eventually. And he's a very, very good finisher. So that's just my opinion, and I think a lot of people are going to totally disagree with me. But
we don't care, because I agree. Because I don't care if they disagree. I agree with you. I think he stops it, and then Usyk will lose his, undefeated title in this weight category. I see it. And they've added another weight category, Mauricio. The Bridger weight.
What is that?
What do you think about it?
The worst title, the worst name.
Do you know why? Do you know why, Hannah? Why it ain't the worst title? Because it was named after the kid that saved his sister getting mauled by a dog, and he got mauled, and he was only 6 years old.
I know, but like there was a different way to honor that kid. Like that, the name for this title, like it just.
Yeah, I know. And what do you think of? If you could add weight categories, where would you add them? Or if you would, do you think there should have been? Because I personally think I see the point of it, because there's too much of a bit of a gap going from cruiser to light heavyweight to it's a massive gap. 175 to 200. That's a massive gap. We don't have that in boxing. The biggest gaps you have is maybe a 7-pound gap. It's usually on average a 4 or 5 pound before you change a weight class. So I mean, to have it's all right, but is it? What do you think about it? Is it just like rubbish? Like really, no one's really going to care about it, because people like Deontay Wilder could be able to fight in it. Usyk could fight in it. Lawrence Okoli moving up from cruiser into that. He couldn't make heavyweight now. He might be a bit pissed off. He could fight in it. There's a few people that could fight in that, but is it of any substance, or do you think it's just a shit open weight class? He says. Oh.
No, I just think that I don't think there was any need for it there. I think either you're a cruiserweight or you're a heavyweight. Like you kind of have to just get on with it a little bit, because the rest of us. That sounds harsh, but the rest of us all fit into a weight category. It's like one way or the other. We step up, we go down. And it'd be very nice if someone was to go, "Oh, here's a new weight class, just so you can fit in."
But don't you think if Lawrence Okoli, he wants to go up, and I mean, you already saw Tyson Fury against Wilder. Wilder came in he bulked up. He came in at 230, right? That's not his usual. Obviously, that's not usually 213, 214, whatever. But Tyson Fury came in at 275. There has to be some kind of.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying there, and obviously, the difference between Dubois and Joyce, for example, there was a difference there, and Dubois is the younger kid, Joyce is the bigger guy, so he's obviously going to be bigger in general. So yeah, I think. Do you know what? Like all new things, it'll just take time, and it'll take somebody to go into that weight category and do well.
Yeah,
a few people to sell it basically, and then it'll be okay. But I think we all don't really like change very much, so I'm sure that,
we're creatures of habit, aren't we? But
so I think people are going to be a bit funny about it. But I don't know, they should have called it super cruiserweight or something like that, or
but cruiserweight isn't. It's one of them weight classes that no one really gives a fuck about as well, though.
But now people do care about it. They didn't before, but there's been a real change for the cruiserweight division. I think definitely.
It's taken a little bit of time. Yeah, it's taken a long time. And what do you think with the Deontay? What have you been following the debacle of the Deontay Wilder? What do you think about all of that? With him coming out with all these fucking conspiracy theories and all that. Do you agree with him, or do you think it's wild?
No, it's totally wild. I do not agree with that. The thing is that there's no point. Yes, okay, it was a big loss for him, right? And it's hard to come back from those things when you've never lost. So yeah, I think it's kind of mentally, how strong are you? Like, how strong are you to come back from these sort of things? It's like AJ coming back for the Ruiz fight. Everyone's like, oh, it's too soon. It's too soon. But he had to get that out of his system.
Yeah.
And the thing with Deontay Wilder is that he should have got straight back on the horse, come back out again. Whereas now he's had time to like let it all. It's just got worse, you know.
Yeah.
So
I think it's pathetic, in my opinion. It's just a load of rubbish. It's just getting on my nerves with all of that. Definitely, he needs to. I don't know if it's a psychological thing. I'm not a boxer, so like you said, sometimes taking a loss might just really fuck with people's psyche.
Like, some people can't come back from it. Some people can't.
Come out then come out. We ain't got time for it then. Come out, the sport, jog on then, because we ain't got time for this. We're just reporting this for the last like 9 months, and like it's going into 2021, and we're just gonna still be talking about this shit. Like this is getting on everyone's nerves. If you're not like mentally fit for your loss, then you can't be a boxer. Then you can't be a boxer, like, because not most boxers lose unless you're Floyd Mayweather and a few other elite. And where are you going? Who's on your top pound for pound list? Who would you say is number one? Would you call it Canelo, or would you say Bud Crawford?
I love Bud Crawford. Massive fan of Bud Crawford.
I was fucked off though that how Kel lost though. I was fucked off.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, Kel's last few fights kind of explained exactly how he responded in that fight. And, you know, it is what it is. And he had some serious trauma from the Triple G fight. And that's never really left him.
Yeah, and the Errol Spence. It's just smashed up.
Absolutely.
So, who would you put Bud as top number one pound for pound?
No, Canelo goes up there for me. Canelo goes up there for sure. And then Crawford. What would it take for that to change from 2 to 1 and 1 to 2? Well, I think Crawford, like he keeps saying, he needs that fight, the defining fight. He has to have the fight. I think the one with Errol Spence is the one that everybody wants. It's the fight that we're all wanting. So I
don't understand why it's not happening. He's going with Pacquiao.
Well, I mean, at least that will get, like, basically Bob Arum said he doesn't got a big enough following. You know, I spend a lot of money promoting him, but he doesn't get a lot back, sort of thing. And
Arum's just out of order. He just needs to go away now as well. Date your money. You're like nearly 100 years old. Chill out with all your shit.
The thing is with Bud is that he's an amazing boxer, but like he needs that fight with somebody who's more famous, regardless of how well you think he is. Like boxing fans don't know Bud Crawford like boxing geeks do. Like us real.
Yeah. True.
Whereas they all know Pacquiao.
Yeah, we all know Pac-Man. Yeah, everyone does.
So it'll be good. It'll be good for Bud to have that fight with Pacquiao, and then everyone can see who he is. You know,
Bud's gonna knock out Pacquiao. Pacquiao's great, but Pacquiao's at the end of the career. He said he's retiring after this. He's doing this, you know, to get the money for Philippines to help them in the Corona situation. But I don't really want to see Pacquiao fucked up by Bud.
There's a soft side coming out there.
I like Pacquiao. I do like Pacquiao.
Everyone loves Pacquiao.
Yeah, I'd rather just see him just go straight to the Errol Spence thing. But we don't know how Errol Spence is actually going to fare since this accident. What do you think? We don't know how to gauge it. If it's going to be the old Errol Spence, then it's going to be a fucking epic fight. But if it's going to be, we don't know.
So it's Spence versus Garcia, isn't it? This week?
Spence versus Garcia. Yeah, this is what we're going to see. What would you call it? Like I don't know how to call it. I just said if it's old Spence, he's got it. But we might have a new Spence that doesn't fare well getting hit.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we don't know about that. But I think Garcia's kind of media stuff in the lead up to it is like, oh, I hope. He was saying, I hope this goes well. And this, you know, it wasn't like, I'm going to do this. It's like, I hope that I can do this. He hasn't seemed very, like, 100% on his
sure.
And the thing is that he's a great fighter, and I think it's a really good matchup. But obviously, everyone's got this huge question mark over Spence with the you know, everything like that, basically the car crash. And like you said, how's he going to fare being hit, and how's his body going to react? How's he going to react? I think he's going to be fine because mentally he's got that, you know, and he's come through.
He looks amazing.
Yeah, and he's big for the weight.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So yeah, he's gonna. We've got some good back-to-back fights anyway. So we've got AJ. You've got I don't know, even like Billy Joe.
Who have you got? Have you got the Smith Canelo? What you saying?
Oh, Callum Smith and Canelo. Canelo.
Yeah, me too.
Canelo. I've been really analysing Smith, and I think he's a good boxer. Don't get it twisted, but he's going to be out of his depth with Canelo.
Well, he absolutely kills himself to make that weight. Like,
yeah, absolutely. He's a taller. He needs to go up.
He's just literally giving Canelo on the plate his body. Like,
his brain must be so dehydrated. The fluid that floats around his brain must be very minimal. And once you dehydrate like that, that's what can cause, the onset of putative dementia and things like that. Because, once you get punched and, your brain doesn't have that fluid as cushioning, it can get you into a lot of problems, onset of Parkinson's and stuff like that. So Callum needs to think about maybe after this fight, because in my opinion, he will lose. Just to go up, because you're breaking your back to make that weight, lads, and you're a big lad.
I think it's impressive that Canelo's stepping up to fight obviously the biggest guy in the division. But the funny thing is, me and my coach talk about this, and it's like Canelo chose to fight Callum Smith. Yeah, and that's like the fundamental thing. He chose that fight. He was like,
"Do you think that's a good choice, or do you think it was so you're not saying it's a cherry pick choice?"
No, I think it's a choice that's going to enhance his legacy, because he's just going to look like, in my opinion, when he beats Smith, and like, no offense to Smith, I like him, I think he's a great guy. Yeah, but I do think Canelo's just too good at working the body, and he's just going to find those spaces, go under those arms, and get inside, and he's just going to take the win for me. So
I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also just quickly touching with, like the lightweight and super feather division, like with the Santa Cruzes and the Tanks and the Devin Haney's. That division right now is fucking lit, mate. It's like I said this yesterday. It's more lit than the fucking heavyweight division right now, in my opinion. Like, I would like to see Haney and Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah,
wouldn't you? Then we would get all this, oh, I'm undisputed, oh, and you're not undisputed. Like, there's a big, debate, but what it is, Teofimo isn't undisputed. He isn't. Because I know Haney's been given that belt, but he's got that belt. So, Teofimo, you're going to have to beat him, get that belt, and then you're going to be undisputed. Yay or nay? What do you think?
I think so. I mean, he's obviously, undisputed because he's got all of the other belts. So I suppose he didn't have that. Like they always say, but he's got to fight Haney to get that last belt. Once he's got that, then you can be like, whoop.
my work is done. I think that, and with Tank Davis under Money May, I think that's, people are saying that Money May is cherry picking a lot for Tank. Where do you think Tank? Who do you think Tank should go to and fight next?
But firstly, I think he's a great fighter, and I think actually Mayweather's like the perfect mentor for him, and probably the only person that can really keep him in check, because the kid's he's off the wall half the time, and he needs that sort of role model to inspire him, and just to keep an eye on him, because he can go off the wall. He's
always in problems, always in trouble, isn't he? He's even in trouble at this minute. So
he's always in trouble, and it's just, you can't have, it's just how what he's come from, his background and everything like that, So I think it's really good for him. I think he needs a next big fight, step up, and then he's really going to introduce himself onto the world stage, really.
It would be good to see him with Garcia. That would be a good fight as well, wouldn't it? That would be an amazing fight. I can't wait till all of these fights do actually happen and everything pans out. But we've got, for the next few weeks, like the whole of December, we've got, great fights, and then January will be quiet, and February and people like yourself, you'll be ramping up to good to go for March and stuff.
And maybe for March.
So, and do you know who you want to fight?
No, not yet. Like, so basically, it'll be my first welterweight fight. So, you know, obviously, you're gonna have it'll be my debut welterweight fight. So we'll see who's around, where it's gonna be. I'm hoping the States opens up again. I'll be back over in America with Salita Promotions, who I'm signed with. But if I can't get there, I'll be sorting out something either here in the UK, at home in Scotland, or in Europe somewhere. I'll get a spot on a show and I'll be fighting.
Yeah, you'd be all right. You'd be all right. I don't see anything bad happening, girl. You'd be all right. I can't wait to see you fight at Welter. Actually, it's going to be interesting. I will be doing my predictions. So yes, I will be doing my predictions and my analytics. I may be a little bit biased now because I like it. I like you and I root for you. I think you're amazing. And thank you. So we'll wrap it up. There's no more questions left. And we covered base. Thank you so. Oh, yeah, this is what I'm going to get you to do. So you have to do little Jamaican. So how I sign off, I go, hey, girlies, Lady Chann. You've got to say, hey, girlies, Hanna Rankin. So it's, hey, girlies. Hiya, girlies, Hanna Rankin. So you go, hiya, girlies, Hanna Rankin.
Hiya, girlies, Hanna Rankin.
Hiya, girlies, Lady Chann. God. Thanks, Hanna. Salute to you, girl. Thank you so much. Take it easy, right?
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.